Hold on tight. The champ is here. Mikey is raising the roof. He is loving it.
Let's be real for a second.
Let's be real. I'm excited to be real today. Mikey, Renault, explain yourself.
I don't hate Russell Wilson.
Todd hates T.Y. Hilton. I know why he likes Nick Foles. Do you know why? Because he scored 55 points against them in the championship game last year.
Running backs in Andy Reid's system is just fantasy gold mine. Sign me up there, man.
Yeah, and he's passing for 1,000 too, because his offensive weapons are shit.
Maybe. Oh my God, I can't even believe this, Eric. Todd comes out with some outlandish shit.
Come on.
But that one wins the night.
You deserve the torture of watching those games if you get them.
There's a problem with all those names. None of those guys are good.
Exactly. That's my point. That is 100% my point.
Hey. All I'm saying. Hey, I'm a very unique individual. You know, that's the.
I'm sure all the owners think so.
Oh man. Just when I think that they're out, they pull me back in.
Who would have thunk it? Todd was right at something. Hooray. We'll talk about that on the show, I guess. You're listening to the MHA podcast. Eric Lansing, Todd Diamond, Mikey Renault in person. Good seeing you guys.
Yeah.
You guys seem well.
No.
We're not doing so well. Is this breaking news? Mikey Renault has coronavirus.
No.
I hope not. We're all screwed.
My team's not doing well.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Oh,
My team's not doing
okay.
well.
Yes.
But your Spurs got a shooter, Mikey. So there you go.
Yeah, we're here watching the NBA draft. So good having you guys here. How about that DeAndre Hopkins play? I thought that DK Metcalf running down that dude was going to be pretty incredible.
That was
the Hopkins play may have outshone it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, plays for the year. That's pretty good. Top two right there.
I think it's kind of overrated.
Why is that? It didn't happen to you.
I mean,
it didn't happen to your fantasy team.
I mean, all he did was jump. I mean, anybody could do that.
I wish I could jump like that. Jeez, I'd probably be in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. All right.
You know, hey, I can dream. You know.
I think it was amazing considering Kyler Murray. I know you were facing Kyler Murray, but for him to be able to run towards the sideline and put up just the perfect pass, it's pretty amazing.
Hey, what I thought was
Hail Murray.
What I did think was awesome was, and this will just kind of take you a little detour into the DFS world, but relevant. That one play cost somebody $1 million.
That's unfortunate. Seems like that story happens a lot where something happens, like the Nick Chubb thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he ran out before the touchdown. I'm sure that cost someone $1 million somewhere.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
I'd be like, oh, dear God. Like $1 million? No, sorry. Oh, damn.
It's pretty amazing. Football is awesome, though.
Yeah.
Despite fantasy sucking sometimes, football is pretty awesome. All right, so, the normal type of show here. We'll talk about some news, some top performances, get you up to date on some standings, a little MHA trivia. So let's just jump right into the news.
To me, the most amazing thing about the news is that whatever goes on in the world, it exactly fits the number of pages that they're using in the paper that day. Interesting concept.
And the top news note is not good for the Lemonheads. Christian McCaffrey will miss another week. I should have traded that jerk off weeks ago.
I know, right?
Weeks ago. And unfortunately, he's not going to put up any points for me this week. They said maybe next week. Maybe. Whatever.
You'll get him eventually.
Yeah, when I'm out of the playoffs. Mikey's top quarterback, Drew Brees, will miss some times after getting just crushed. Broke some ribs, collapsed lung. I don't know if he's coming back. I mean, they're in the playoff race, so maybe by the playoffs. But, Mike, you looking for a new quarterback. You picked up a couple guys in the waiver wire.
Yeah, we're just going to throw someone out there.
See what happens.
Right? You give a good pep talk to your quarterbacks. Like, listen.
This hasn't been the best year for me, injury-wise. So
just continues to pile on.
We're still fighting.
Still fighting. You're not out of it. We'll take a look at those standings in a bit. Speaking of quarterback injuries, Teddy Bridgewater left his game early with a knee injury. It doesn't appear to be serious. And for folks like me who have a lot of Panthers on my team, I really wish he plays this weekend. I do not want to see that XFL cast-off P.J. Walker in the lineup. Still waiting to see if Calvin Ridley is going to play this week. Andy Dalton coming off the reserve COVID-19 list, so it looks like he's going to start this week. That'll be good for anybody that has any Cowboys. Drew Lock, dealing with sore ribs and hurt feelings. Might try to play against the Dolphins this week. Probably better to hold him out. Tyler Lockett dealing with a knee injury. but I think he's just not practicing just to save himself for Thursday. God, I hope he plays. And another 49er running back hits the injured list. This time is Jermichael Hasty. They just can't keep a running back healthy. And San Francisco's on a bye. And for NWA, who's playing Belt Sanders, I think they're playing the Belt Sanders, might have an easy week. Any other news that I missed, guys? Anything you want to mention about any of all that?
No, that's just a lot of. It's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain on that paper. A lot of pain.
And there was a lot of injuries, but these are more of the fantasy relevant ones. So nothing, Mike. You got nothing for me?
No, you mentioned two of my guys, two of my best players. What do you want me to say? Okay.
Look, I feel you. I'm right there with you, Miguel. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the MHA standings. The only matchup that had two winning teams facing each other was Eating W's and Gonzo Cats and Kevin's team coming out with a win thanks to Lamar Jackson, who had his best game since the trade and probably his best week since week 1. He piled up 48 points. And Alvin Kamara just continues really pushing Dalvin Cook for that MVP. So that'll be interesting to see how all of that kind of lays out. As Kamara 30 points. We also saw Nick Chubb break off a long run, as we talked about, and did not get in the end zone. Did not matter for Gonzo Cat, although that would have been a better fantasy football storyline if that's what would have happened. Jared Cook, a big fat 0. Cooper's cousin, still at the top. You're welcome, Dylan. He's close to earning that top seed in the MHA playoffs. 115-116 over Kilgore Trout. As Joe Vaccarelli's team, boy, oh boy, just continues to struggle. Dylan's squad 8-2. 64 points from Big Ben and 26 points from Naeem Himes. How about that? Trout got a 0 from Chargers' Troy Maine Pope. And that is the Russian roulette wheel of the Chargers running back situation. Second place, Lion Rip put up a stinker against Bye Week, who snuck out a 114-110 victory. The bye week trade for Cooper Kupp and Kenyon Drake paid off, as 4 points was the difference. And not a great day from Seattle's offense for Lion Rip, just 31 points by super stud Russell Wilson. How about those Butterfingers? Moved up to 500. Good job, Todd. 131-111 over CUP, who is now also 5-5. Tom Brady shut us all up. Us naysayers thought the demise of Tom Brady started last week. He ended up putting up a big day against Carolina's less than stellar defense. 341 yards, passing 3 touchdowns. CUP also had a subpar performance from Carson Wentz. He might be in line for that doe of the week. You'll just have to stick around to find that out. Also at 500 now is yours truly. The Lemonheads took advantage of an easy matchup against the Belt Sanders. Didn't seem easy at first, did it, Miguel? You were sitting there watching with me. I was sweating it out.
I don't know why. It always seemed easy to me.
He had some good performances from Rojo, and Brandon Ayuk and my Carolina players did not play well at all. Then Josh Allen went off for a nice, I think, 63 points. DeAndre Swift, who I just traded for, came up big. So Nick Foles, who, I said I was worried about him maybe getting 63 points, ended up only getting 17. And he got hurt, but it was really late. Never really in doubt. And finally, NWA reached 6-4, scoring a whopping 151 points to take down our fellow broadcast mate over here, Tamales, who's now 4-6. Kyler Murray was amazing again, 53 points. If I remember, most of that happened in the second half. Like, was he pretty quiet at halftime, and then he just went nuts?
Yeah, he didn't have anything in that first half of that game. 16 points, I think, was about it, and then that was for most of his players. In the second half of those afternoon games, just went ballistic.
Yeah, we mentioned Mikey lost Drew Brees to an injury, but even if he had him and scored 50 points, still may not have mattered. His running back trio of Josh Jacobs, James Robinson, and even Kalen Ballage put up 52 combined points. So, as I bring up the standings, because I never really go through the standings all the way through, so we'll just do that here now. Cooper's Cousins, first place at 8-2. And a bunch of 6-4 teams. There are 4 6-4 teams. So Lion Rip in second place, NWA in third, Eaton W's in fourth, Gonzo Cats in fifth. In a couple of 5-5 teams, yours truly at 6th spot. So I'm in the playoffs if it ended today. Can we end it? Can we just end it today?
No.
You guys cool with that?
No.
No?
Close, but no.
Yeah, Todd's right behind me in 7th, just outside the playoffs at 5-5. And CUP, notorious CUP, they're in 8th with also at 5-5. So Mikey at 5-6, 4-6, not out of it. He will need some help, but it's a cluster F. You got a bunch of 6 and 4s, 5 and 5s, and 4 and 6s. So need some help. You could get in.
I essentially have to win out.
Yeah, you have to win out. Maybe get some help. Mikey's got a tough road ahead. The rest of the standings, you got bye week, Belt, Sanders, and Kilgore Trout all at 3 and 7. So there you go. All right, guys, let's talk about some top performances. Todd, since you were right about the bacteria frappuccino thing we were talking about, Seinfeld, I'll let you go first this time.
I appreciate that. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs. 20 points, 10 receptions, 93 yards, and 1 touchdown. You know, when he's been on the field for Josh Allen, that's where he's gone. Stephon Diggs. So good on Stephon Diggs. That's, you know, he's definitely proven to be a top wide receiver in the league. So good on Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, he's been great. He has 8 or more points in all 10 of his games. Second time he's hit 20 this season, helping Josh Allen kind of be in that MVP candidate race. He would probably be the headline of the week if that Hopkins play didn't happen 2 seconds later. So pretty incredible. He's definitely exceeded all our expectations, I would like to think. Mikey, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. You know,
that was a guy that you faced, correct?
Yeah, put up 28 points against me. He was a guy that I kind of questioned when NWA took him where he did in the first round. And I still kind of question that because week to week he's not like, you know, you can count on 18 to 20-plus points every week. But he showed up this week for sure with that big 28 spot. So, yeah, and it helped that, you know, we were playing in a game against the Broncos who just looked so bad in that game. Didn't even look like they wanted to stop him.
Devontae Booker also had a lot of rushing yards and touchdowns. It could have been a better day for Josh Jacobs to take him out early.
I believe Booker threw up another 18 points, so it was kind of crazy.
So, and for Josh Jacobs, 5th overall in terms of running back scoring in our league behind Kamara, Cook, Henry, and James Robinson. Has been pretty incredible. One guy I'll just mention who's had another good week, and that's just because Kenny Golladay continues to be out of the lineup. Marvin Jones Jr., a guy who I liked, and I'm not sure if I drafted him in this league. I may have drafted him, but I knew that he had the potential to put up points, and it seems like with Holiday out, he puts up decent numbers. Third straight week with double-digit point totals. Scored 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. And we saw what Tampa Bay did to Carolina in the air, so he might have another one as Detroit faces off against the Panthers this weekend. Todd, do you have another one?
Well, I'll go with, and I kind of, badmouthed them beforehand, and he keeps kind of having 2 back-to-back good weeks, but Justin Jefferson, 14 points, 8 receptions, 135 yards receiving. I mean, he's looking like the best rookie out of the wide receivers right now. Because said this in previous podcasts that Jerry Jeudy probably has the higher ceiling, but Justin Jefferson right now, he's making a good case for maybe even rookie of the year. But every single week, that's where obviously you still have Thielen, but Justin Jefferson is starting to plant his flag pretty firmly in that Minnesota offense.
Is Justin Jefferson the best rookie wide receiver, Miguel?
I have a bias, so it's unfair to ask me. Who
do you think who is the highest scoring rookie wide receiver?
I'm not sure. I mean, I still think that Jeudy is the best rookie wide receiver, but my guess would be Jefferson probably is the top scoring one.
I'm afraid not.
Oh, it's Chase Claypool.
There you go. Good job, Miguel. Chase Claypool has 108 points.
9 touchdowns.
He's got 9 total touchdowns. He's got a couple of rushing ones as well. But, yes, Justin Jefferson looks like the real deal. He's been fun to watch. Another guy that bye week traded for, and he's got 2 wins in a row. So good job for bye week.
Didn't you trade him, for a guy that you dropped, Todd? It's like you gave him away for free.
Yeah, what was that like?
Hey,
how's that feel?
Traded him for what? Keelan Cole, who was one of the top receivers this week, scored 20 points. After you dropped him?
I'm 5-5, Mikey.
Oh.
How's 4-6 taste? Not
Mike-
so good, does it?
Mikey, do you have another top performer?
When did you grow a pair of balls? No, I'm just kidding.
All right, yeah, you know, when I go to the bathroom, that's when I grow. Okay.
Oh my gosh! Touch my toilet.
All right. So I've got Naheem Hines.
That's a good one.
And just credit to Dylan for actually playing the guy. You know, he put up 26 points. He's kind of like an all or nothing guy. You never know when he's going to pop up. He's only had 3 games that he's had double figures, but those 3 games have been pretty incredible. 24 points, 17 points, and then 26 points this week. Dylan's in first place. And, you know, hey, he's been making the right moves all season. You know, he may not have been at the draft and kind of had his team selected for him, but he's been good on the waiver wire. You know, he's been playing the right lineups every week, and look where it's got him. I got a tough challenge ahead playing him this week.
Yeah, Cooper's Cousins has only made a couple moves so far on the season, but he's made some good ones. And it's always tough to decide. You can play Jonathan Taylor, you're going to play Jordan Wilkins or Naeem Hines, and he made the right move, and he's paying off in a big way, and he's right there in line to take that first overall seed and earn that first round bye. Anybody else you want to talk about in terms of top performances? You guys pretty much nailed everyone I had on my list. So, Alvin Kamara was the other guy. Listen to this. He only had 15 yards rushing on 8 attempts.
That's it.
But he had 2 rushing touchdowns, 7 receptions, and a receiving touchdown. So he doesn't have to run for a lot. He's just so active in the passing game. And when they do get down at the 1-yard line, that's who they go to. He's had double-digit point totals in all 9 games, 7 games with 18 or more. You guys think things will change with Drew Brees out of the lineup? I mean, famous Jameis can sling it a little bit, but does that change the way Kamara is viewed?
Well, it should open up the down the field more, for sure.
Yeah, Michael Thomas should be kind of maybe doing jumping jacks a little bit. That they'll try to throw. They'll try to throw it a little bit downfield.
He's not much down the field guy, though, is he? Michael Thomas. I feel like that's why they always had
Traquan Smith.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
they got that Callaway guy. Emmanuel Sanders can go downfield too.
Opening it up. Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. Anybody else?
Well, I just want to mention, just kind of looking through. This was like the first week that was like truly a running back week.
Sure, I agree with you there.
I thought the passing game and the receivers kind of suffered this week. You know, more than half of the quarterbacks kind of finished under 40 points this week. The receivers suffered. Like if you didn't have one of those top quarterback receiver combinations, then you were kind of hurting. And the tight ends were probably the worst I think I've ever seen this week. It didn't really matter who you had. They were just awful. I think Hunter Henry had 11 was like the top tight end score. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
But running backs, I mean, there was so much depth in it, you know. A lot of guys scoring over 20 at running backs, you know, a lot of guys in double figures. So, yeah.
Running backs flourishing in Week 10. All right, let's talk about some just worst performers.
Yeah, Mo, that team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Mikey, we'll let you go first this time. I'm not sure. I'm not pushing you in any direction. Assuming I'm just saying whatever you want to talk about.
He's going toward his team.
I guess he's going to the Tamales squad.
I hate to throw this on Drew Brees, but like I really needed him this week, and he got hurt. But like even before that, like he was so terrible. I remember commenting to you like this was like almost halftime. And, like, he had, like, 3 completions.
Yeah, it was like 3 for 5.
Yeah, 3 completions for, like, 19 yards.
Ugh.
Like, he wasn't giving me anything.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I mean, the injury on top of that is just a very, very poor performance. Ugh.
Yeah. One thing I'll say before I let Todd go here is, I kind of mentioned the Seattle offense, but how about Carolina's offense? Now, the running game was fine, but, like, Robert Woods had a great matchup. And then Cooper Kupp had a great matchup. And neither one of them really did. I think Cooper Kupp had 7. Robert Woods, who you had 6. I know Josh Reynolds got most of those, but really it was the running game. But that was a big matchup for that passing offense, and they just didn't come through.
Yeah, I mean, Kupp still – I mean, Jared Goff still had decent passing numbers, like when you look at his completions and his yardage.
Yeah.
It's just that all the touchdowns went to the running game.
Yeah.
So nobody in the receiving game was really able to capitalize on anything.
Yeah,
It's kind of how it
tough.
went. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's interesting kind of how that works. And we can talk about the Seattle's offense, too. 31 points from Russell Wilson, 3 from DK Metcalf, which you figure Tyler Lockett would have had a big game, but he only had 8 points. So I just think that they need Chris Carson back to kind of even things out.
Well,
I don't know.
and that Rams defense,
there's pretty
their
solid.
pass defense,
That
it's legit.
Ramsey's incredible.
It's legit. I mean, they can get a pass rush with 4 guys, and I mean, it's incredibly difficult because they have a decent secondary for, these pass offenses to go against them. I think I read a statistic where, their defense hadn't really given up like a touchdown passing wise of like more than 20 yards all season.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. And then you have the best passer, cooking Russell Wilson over here. And for them, and he had 3 picks in that game, so they really flustered him quite a bit. So, man, I wish they were playing the Rams this weekend. So, Todd, worst performer, who you got?
I'll go with who I faced, A.J. Brown on Thursday night. Obviously, I know those Thursday night games are always, you get kind of tricky because it's a short week and everything like that and the players. But A.J. Brown, only 2 points, only 1 target for 21 yards. And, A.J. Brown, the last few games, is putting up double digits and kind of laid a, not a total goose egg, but 2 points on the board. And, that and in 2, I think they just didn't, I thought even being behind, they were just giving the rock to Henry too much. So A.J. Brown, 2 points, not good.
Brown did drop a potential touchdown catch. I remember watching that game. I think it was on the first drive. He would have had a 78-yard touchdown catch, and it just popped out of his hands, and they never really went back to him. I mean, Colts have a good defense, so I don't want to throw it too much on them, but I can see what you're talking about. Mikey, do you have another one?
Yeah, me and Aaron talked about this a little bit ago, so I got to mention Phillip Lindsay and the goose egg that he put up.
Yeah.
In a game where Aaron only lost by 4 points, he wouldn't have needed much from him. And he got 0 on, 4 carries for 2 yards.
Oof.
I don't really know. The Broncos' backfield all season's just kind of been a cluster. They can't seem to decide who they want to run. Like, to me, eye test says Lindsey's been better. Melvin Gordon's been a massive disappointment. They just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's the point. Like, we didn't really get blown out of that game as a Bronco fan. I say we as the Broncos until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, we still should have been running the ball, and for us to run, I don't remember that total, what the actual run attempts were, but it wasn't much. And I feel like we need to run the ball a little bit more and not, especially the way they were getting in Drew Lock's face, and they should have changed that up for sure.
Well, and especially, because let's face it, between Gordon and Lindsey is obviously the more versatile back, and why they don't want to go to him more, it's mind-boggling. But that's for a different
money. They're paying Gordon a pretty penny to be here.
See, I don't know, but that just goes back to just quick. I'll put it to bed here. But the fact all we had to do was just pay Phillip Lindsay, and we could have used maybe that $16 million on something else instead of Gordon, maybe. But it
doesn't hurt to have 2 running backs, but use them.
Yeah, but I don't think they're using them properly, like you said.
I agree with
that. So that's something.
Worst performers, I mentioned Seattle's offense. How about Carolina's offense?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
5 points from Robbie Anderson. 5 points from Robbie Anderson. 3 from Curtis Samuel. 7 from Mike Davis. I mean, we were watching that game. The first 4 drives, 2 by Tampa, 2 by Carolina. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be high scoring. This is gonna be great. Tampa kept going. Carolina stopped.
Yeah, but the one guy was the guy that kind of made this list last week, who was DJ Moore, who actually showed out.
Yeah, he did for Kilgore Trout, but that was about it. And Bridgewater didn't have a good day either. He got hurt later in the game, but hopefully things turn around. They have a pretty decent matchup against Detroit. Do you guys have anything else? That's all we got. Let's talk about the tight ends. Mikey kind of mentioned it. Which means it's time for some MHA trivia.
Hey.
All right, Brain. You don't like me and I don't like you. But let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer. It's a deal.
Yeah, so I just want you guys to name me the top 5 tight ends from this past weekend. Let me tell you the stat before we go. 54 total points by the 12 starting tight ends in our league. So everybody that started a tight end, it was a total of 54 points. And if you average that out, that is 4.5 points per game by tight end.
Dear
Thinking.
Jesus. That's
So let's start this game. And I'm just going to let Mikey go first because he's kind of already mentioned it. But just name me one of the top 5 tight ends.
Hunter Henry.
That's right. He got number 1. And he had number 1 with 11 points, 4 receptions, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Good job, Mikey. Todd, your turn.
Darren Waller.
Oh, I'm afraid not. As a guy who has Waller, there was too much running in that game. He only had 4 points, which was not bad compared to some, but not in the top 5. Mikey?
Cameron Brate.
Very good. 10 points, 3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Todd, back to you. There's an obvious one.
Gronk.
Very good. Gronk. He had 10 points. He had 2 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. Mikey, your turn.
Mark Andrews.
See, Mikey did his homework. Mikey saw this list, and that gives Mikey the win. And Mark Andrews, which put up a decent day to give Aaron a chance, but unfortunately Justin Jefferson came through. 10 points for Andrews, 7 receptions, 61 yards. Can you name the number 5 guy, Todd?
The number
Pharaoh Brown.
Okay.
Was number 5 with 9 points, and he had a touchdown, 2 receptions, 21 yards.
And then Jordan Reed was in there in the mix somewhere, too.
He was right after Brown. And then Durham Smythe, John O. Smith, I think, had a rushing touchdown. Richard Rodgers. I remember Colin Thompson scoring for Carolina.
It was unfair. I put together my spreadsheet today, so.
No, I like it. You did your homework. Good job. Mikey wins MHA Trivia. That moves us over to the Doe of the Week award. We kind of talked about one of them. We talked about Lion Rip, who got 0 from Philip Lindsay and left Damian Harris on his bench, who had 121 rushing yards for 12 points. Is he the winner? There is another candidate if you guys don't have one. You were telling me you had a candidate, right?
Matthew Stafford.
So CUP fell by 20 points to Butterfingers. Could have made a couple moves, but the big one is he could have played Stafford over Carson Wentz. Stafford 53 points. Stafford took on the Washington football team. Wentz had 29 points and played the Giants. So that could be a candidate as well.
That's pretty much it. The rest of the games are blowouts.
Yeah, those are the top 2. So who are we voting for on this?
I'm voting for Aaron. I mean, he could have played anybody over Philip Lindsay and would have gotten it. It was a 4-point game.
Damian Harris was playing Baltimore.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, well, but Baltimore's defense has been. I mean, obviously they ended up with 1 point, but I didn't think Harris was gonna just destroy that defense though.
But he also could have played Ahmed against the Chargers.
Yeah, no one's playing that Salvin Ahmed guy.
Hey,
you wouldn't have played him over those 2 guys, would you?
Jordan Howard got cut right before that game, or benched.
Come on,
you know.
Right, I don't know about that. Now
So
if
you
you had
kind of
Philip
knew he was going to get
Lindsay,
the carries.
I mean, Damian Harris has been good the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So who's your vote, Mikey?
I'm
You're
voting,
going Aaron?
I'm voting Aaron.
Todd?
Yeah, I'll actually go. I'll go with Aaron on that.
All right, so I don't have to vote. Good. So Aaron, unfortunately, you get the Doe of the Week. Which means he's going to be pissed off and he's going to destroy my ass this coming up week.
Let's hope so.
All right, gentlemen. What else you guys want to talk about? What else we got here before we get into the upcoming schedule? What's on your mind? What's going on fantasy football? I mean, it's exciting, right? There's a big cluster of teams, and a lot of folks are still in it. I think Dylan's in. I think even if he loses out, I think he owns some tiebreakers against some folks. But
yeah, and he's got enough points where
yeah,
I think he's pretty solid as far as getting into the playoffs.
I think this year, out of all years, that there is so many teams cluttered, in the middle, and and still have opportunity, and even toward the bottom have opportunity to get into the playoffs. So I think that's going to make it fun, for the last few weeks, of the season. So I think that's, and obviously this year's been, way different with obviously with COVID and all that stuff. But, I think it's fun. And obviously too, I think there's been obviously a lot of trades this year, more trades I think than previous years. We'd have to go back and see how many, what's the record of trades in one season in our league. But, And
I
said,
ain't doing that homework. Go through every transaction from every season. Pass.
all the way from 2002. No, and I think the biggest thing too is I think the waiver wire has just been of all years of just has been so interesting because you've had to like dig a little bit deeper. For players, because obviously of people opting out and then so many injuries and stuff like that, the waiver wire is just, is in a different stratosphere of just like, you're finding players like you've never heard of, but they've had to play because either somebody's tested positive or they've gotten hurt. So I think going forward, even, past all this COVID, the waiver wire is going to be, is still going to be even more important. So I think that's the thing.
Salvin Ahmed.
Exactly. So, it's
Salvin Ahmed.
I even picked up one of the Dolphins running backs, Perry. Here's the last one.
You don't even know who you picked up?
Some guy.
What's going on here?
Some guy.
You worked at the local grocery store.
Malcolm Perry.
Why did we pick up Malcolm Perry?
Just
Is
for
Salvin Ahmed hurt?
Hey, you
Will
never
you even start this guy this week?
Well, I'm not.
Did he score a touchdown in high school?
No, I was looking at the waiver wire and
tight end eligibility.
No,
He doesn't even know why I picked him up.
yeah, I don't know. Well, you never know.
But he's 5-5.
He likes the name Malcolm. I understand.
And I picked up Tua. So
Mikey, what's going on in
All
your
right.
head?
Tua, Malcolm Perry, Smythe. You're a big Dolphins fan now, huh?
I guess the Broncos, he is.
I'm not going to play Tua this week. But
Why not?
Because I'll play Tua in Week 13 when Tom Brady's on a bye.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right then. So yeah. So
who is Tua playing that week?
that's
You don't even know that? Come on, man.
Oh boy, this show.
Mikey, let's have you talk. I'm done talking with Ty.
I think the other interesting part of this is the other end of the spectrum. You've got bye week and Belt Sanders and Kilgore Trout tied, for last place, fighting for the number 1 pick.
Who is that?
I'm only a game behind that too.
Who is the number 1 pick next year?
Who knows?
McCaffrey can't stay healthy. Saquon Barkley can't stay healthy. Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver who came into this year.
Cincinnati, by the way.
Thanks.
No problem. But no,
but
Devontae
yeah,
Adams, Cooks. I think Dalvin Cook probably might be the number.
Maybe.
Or Kamara. So
Still got 3 weeks left to go. All right, we'll bring the upcoming schedule. Every game is crucial now as we head towards the playoff. Teams that are on a bye.
Yeah.
49ers. So the entire Belt Sanders squad.
cool. Except for Patrick Mahomes.
I'll tell you who is on his team here in just a bit. Who else is on a bye? You got the Giants, so no Wayne Gallman, who's been pretty incredible. No Bears, which means no Allen Robinson. And we'll see who's running quarterback for that team, although I heard Nick Foles wasn't as serious as, after being carted off in the game. No Bills, so no Josh Allen. Damn it. And no Stephon Diggs. All right, so perhaps the game of the week could be between myself, 5-5, and a 6-4 Lion Rip. The two roomies going at it this week. Seattle taking on Arizona on Thursday night. This game has the highest scoring line of the weekend, almost 60 points.
Oh, that's going to be
I'm
more.
screwed.
It's going to be more than that.
Oh
you know
my
it's going to be more
so
than that.
Obviously super nervous
Yeah.
because he's got run with Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. I pick up the Arizona kicker, so maybe it's going to be interesting. I don't have, as I mentioned, don't have Josh Allen, but we'll see what happens. Hot Tamales, boy, they need a win in a big way, don't you, Miguel? And you take on the top team in the league.
Come on, Mikey.
Oh,
Believe
boy.
in you. Believe in you.
It just kind of shows how sometimes how these seasons go. Like
Yeah.
I've learned that there's a lot of luck involved sometimes.
Yeah.
And like you look at it, like the bottom 4 teams in this league right now are the 4 teams that have the most points scored against them. And logically that makes sense. But that's nothing that you can prepare for.
No.
It's just the way it is.
Just the way it is. Unlucky fantasy football. The hottest team in the league, Eaton W's. They're looking to make it 5 straight against 5-5 CUP, who has lost their last 2. NWA at 6-4 will take on the 49ers. I mean the Belt Sanders, who are 3-7. And here's who's not playing for them, but on the roster.
Okay.
Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
JaMychal Hasty. Jarek McKinnon. Raheem Mostert. Tevin Coleman. Robbie Gould. San Francisco's defense. He does have Patrick Mahomes and maybe Calvin Ridley.
Jesus.
7-4 NWA. 6-4 Gonzo Cats has a date with 3-7 Kilgore Trout. Butterfingers looking to keep pace with their 5-5 record as they take on a suddenly hot bye week, who has reeled off 2 straight wins. As I get, am I missing a sheet here, or is that it? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Last week I lost my sheet, or I missed a part of my sheet. So there you go. Week 11 starts on Thursday. I could be just not care about fantasy football after Thursday night.
I was about to say, because you said it's 60 is the point score line. Yeah,
I think Russell Wilson had 68 points against Arizona on that Thursday. Was it Sunday night game?
Yeah.
The only good thing is that DK Metcalf didn't have his big game. That was when Tyler Lockett had his big game. So Lockett better play.
Well, he's supposed to.
So I could be in some big trouble, but we're relying on Matt Ryan to put up some big numbers. Whew. No Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, well, I think you've made peace with that. Just if he comes back or doesn't come back.
I've not made peace. He was supposed to play.
Well,
I've been waiting for him all season. I had a chance to trade him for Dalvin Cook. Anyway. Can't look on the past. You got to worry about the future.
Exactly. Got to look forward.
Picked up Sammy Watkins just for the outside. If I need a big game, maybe he scores 2 touchdowns. So let's play this week. Don't shake your head at me, Miguel. He's done it before. He can have a big game. That's what I have to do, okay? Stop shaking your head. All right. So good luck, MHA owners. Playoffs are coming up quick. Dylan, I hate you. For Todd Diamond, Mikey Renault, Eric Lansing, we'll see you next time, or hear you next time, or listen to us next time on the MHA podcast.